Hi guys, thanks for watching Riding with Marshall one more time. I don't know why you do it, but I do appreciate that you do. So I've been a little busy. I was hired on as a Rocky Mountain National Park tour guide, and then I had to let it go because the last hoop that I jumped through was a physical, and I discovered I have high blood pressure. You really don't want me driving you if I might stroke out at the top of Trail Ridge Road. However, I will get that fixed. The Wild Side 4x4 tours of Estes Park, I am recommending them. I'm not being paid to say it. It's the best thing you can do in Estes Park. So if you're going to Estes, Wild Side 4x4 tours, try them. Anyway, I won't be there. I probably won't be there, but do it. So, motorcycles. Yes, that's why you're here. Motorcycles. And I've got a special motorcycle to my heart here. It is something very similar to a bike I've had before. It is something to what originally defined the UJM, Universal Japanese Motorcycle. This is a kind of a remake of that in 2014. The CB1100, not a 750, not a 350, not a 450, the Honda CB1100. 4 cylinders in line. They designed it very similar to the old 750s, except it is fuel injected and has a 6th gear. And I say, we should go ride it. First, a few specs. This 2014 Honda CB1100 Deluxe has the chrome fenders like my old 1975 CB750, but the front tire is an 18-inch instead of a 19-inch, making it tighter in the turns. This bike has 2 discs with 4 piston calipers. My old one had only a single disc, and I used it a lot because the rear brake was a drum brake and it didn't do a whole lot anymore. The engine is air and oil cooled, also a feature I didn't have on my old 1975. Then again, this is not a 750, but a nod in its direction. This engine is an inline 4-cylinder with 88.5 horsepower at 7,500 RPMs and 68.5 foot-pounds of torque, all coming from the 1140 cc's, and as of 2014 and up, a 6-speed transmission. This deluxe model has 4-into-2 exhaust on each side, giving it a good balance. The seat is the retro-style bench, but it looks adequately padded. If I were the same weight as I was in 1988, then I'll bet this would be all-day comfortable. The lights are tungsten on this model, but the later models would have LEDs. Look at these green gauges. I wonder if the speedometer works. It didn't work on my CB750, and I had to use the tach to guess my speed. I love the retro green, though. It really takes me back in time. Mine was green, and I think pretty cracked from the sun. But wait, they hid a digital display between the clocks. Very nice. And the previous owner added heated grips. It looks like the owner belt sanded the paint off the tops of the hydraulic fluid reservoirs. I wonder why. We have the double horns of yesteryear, along with a very plain and unadorned by any plastic front end. The way it was, and the only way it needs to be. The fuel tank was 3.9 gallons, or 4.4 gallons if you buy this deluxe. So where can you find this bike? Well, of course you can find it at my favorite dealership. I do visit other dealerships. I've been trying to get to the Harley dealership in Greeley to ride the new Pan America, but in this case, you don't see these often around. Honda CB1100 at Interstate Honda in Fort Collins, and I believe I heard it was under 6K. Don't tempt me, man, don't tempt me. These bars are right where they need to be. The seat actually feels great. Let's see how long that stands up. Very quiet hum from a 4-cylinder. The bike is near and dear to my heart because I spent over a year of having my 1975 CB750 as my only transportation in California, and I lived in the mountains. Also, this is the very definition of the UJM, the Universal Japanese Motorcycle. The bike that is just as at home in the thick of the city as it is on country roads like this one. I rode one in 2013, but it was a 5-speed, and I didn't want to spend $11,000 on another 5-speed. This one is 11 years old, but has held up far better than the 1975 750 that I bought in 1988. It was brown when I bought it, and I painted it blue. Mind you, I only paid $350 for it back then, and it was rough and unmaintained. I can't say I did much to help that. This 1100 has nearly 30K on it, and the brakes are like new. In fact, most of it is like new. I can tell from the injectors that it sat a while, but nothing some injector cleaner can't clear up. The CB1100 first came out in 2010. I had heard it was the dream of a Honda executive who wanted a CB750 again, but he wanted it with more grunt. Don't ask me where I got that from, probably one of the many magazines I used to subscribe to. In 2014, it got a makeover with a 6-gear and the digital instrument cluster between the gauges. This Deluxe came out that year also, with a larger fuel tank, 4-into-2 exhaust, ABS brakes, and a modified seat. There was also an EX model with spoked wheels, but only available in Japan and Europe. So what happened to this bike? Euro emission standards happened. Although the engineering wizards at Honda could get the air and oil-cooled 4-cylinder to pass Euro 3 and even Euro 4 emission standards, Euro 5 and above was beyond question. You couldn't do it. Air-cooled engines expand and contract a lot in different temperatures, and that requires some loosey-goosey engine clearances to compensate. Think about the American air-cooled cruisers, where clearances are measured in feet rather than fraction of inches. Okay, so I can't back that up, but it's close. Water-cooled engines can keep the engine at a much smaller temperature range. However, the addition of a radiator, water, thermostat, and water pump add enough weight to a bike to affect the fuel economy anyway, so other metal bits like chrome fenders turn into plastic to compensate. Frames go from steel to aluminum. The CB1100 had a good run. It's not the end of the CB series though, see my other videos. Speaking of other videos, did you know I have another channel? It's called Quiet Places with Marshall, and it's about exploring Colorado's outback and ghost towns, sometimes on motorcycles. Look for my latest where we take a Benelli and a Moto Guzzi to the Pawnee Buttes of Colorado. As always, I appreciate your viewership. It pays for new tires on my bikes. Oh, this bike feels so good. As I was saying, this bike feels so good. The seat might be a little hard after a long journey, I'm not really sure yet, but wow. Your knees do get a little tight up under you, as was the way back then. So, gas station. So you can hear it, if you can hear it. Watch this baby just purr starting up. Just has that Honda purr to it, back from the old 750 days. So sweet. It's not trying to make a statement. It's trying to give you some fun, that's it. Well guys, riding this might have been a mistake for me, because I like it too much. The bare bones, the basic. 6 speeds though. 89 horsepower, but only when you get up to 7,000. But in the meantime, it's linear the rest of the time. Comfortable. Well, as long as your knees are in good shape, as mine are, because your legs are right here. It's kind of like, I don't know. You have a lightweight bike with all the power you ever need. Throw some bags on it, take it across the country. What a fun toy. So I gotta just ask the question, why did we go away from this? Why did we get away from the standard universal Japanese motorcycle? I mean, understandably, you got the cruiser crowd and the Harleys came along and they got bigger and bigger and bigger, and then the Japanese bikes tried to copy the Harleys and they got bigger and bigger and bigger. When all in all you needed was something like this. Even the 750 was enough power, and this is 1140 cc's. Plenty of power. Great bike. Highly recommend. Come get it before I buy it.